We have a Jets rumor, and I think you guys are going to like it. Hey, what's going on? I am Matt O'Leary, back with another video. If you haven't already, please make sure to follow along with me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. You can subscribe to the Just Jets podcast as well right here on the channel, or if prefer, maybe you like the audio better, so you can go on Apple and Spotify and get it there, or subscribe to the Just Jets Clips channel, by the way, which is linked down below in the description for some clips from the show. All right, so what is the rumor? Well, Mobile, Alabama is the place that we're going to focus for the second day in a row, and for good reason. And this one I really like to see. So Connor Rogers, who covers the NFL and the NFL draft and college football too, for Bleacher Report, he also does a podcast on PFF. He says this in tweet form, and it tickled my fancy a little bit. He says, the most consistent chatter I hear with Jets this offseason is their awareness of needing to build around the young quarterback. Not content until there's a surplus of weapons and a powerhouse offensive line in place. They know if they fail to do that, nothing else matters. Premium assets, offense. I mean, that is just phenomenal. I don't care where you stand on if they should draft Kyle Hamilton, or like you want to focus all on defense in the draft because they're 32 in the NFL. Throw it out the window, man. I know that Robert Saleh is a defensive head coach, and I am not sitting here and saying that defense doesn't matter. It does matter. It very clearly does matter in the NFL, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing, especially for Joe Douglas, is to make sure that they have their guy in place at the quarterback position. Because if they don't, then nothing else matters, right? If for whatever reason Zach Wilson proves not to be the guy this year or in year 3, like when we found out Sam Darnold wasn't the guy in year 3, then it's over for Joe Douglas, man. That's it. He doesn't get an opportunity to draft another quarterback. So he better damn well make sure that the one that he has is the right guy. And what's the best way to do that? Leave no doubt in the air. If you get all these weapons in here, you have a good offensive line, and Zach Wilson struggles or plays poorly, then you know. If he does what he did this past year, which was progress and get better as the year goes on, and in year 2 does the same thing, which I think he's going to do. I like his traits a lot. I think it's appealing that he has a rocket arm and that he's shown athletic ability moving outside the pocket and making plays with his legs. I am excited about that. And the interception numbers coming down and turnovers numbers coming down. That's exciting to me. But the fact that it seems like they know what they have to do is like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And again, like I'm not saying, and the Jets I don't think are saying, ignore the defense. No, I think you should go into free agency, look to add a safety in free agency, maybe an edge rusher. It really depends on what your plan is, again, but I would anticipate the Jets to probably go with a pretty premium safety in free agency, like one of the big 4 or 5 guys there. I would expect them to draft one probably on day 3. And then I would also say veteran corner, relatively cheap, or a day 3 corner, linebacker, sure, and maybe an edge that you could probably address in either the draft or free agency. But they have a lot of work to do on the offensive side. They don't have any tight ends, so they have to sign one and draft one more than likely. Or if you miss out on the tight ends in free agency, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you do, then you're probably drafting one in round 2, one in round 3. But to me, this screams high. I'm going to take whichever tackle is there at 4, which is either Evan Neal or Ikem Ekwonu, which I'm good with. And then I'm taking a receiver at 10, whichever one is your favorite. And right now, Ekwonu and Drake London have been getting a ton of talk at the Senior Bowl. Traylon Burks has been mocked a lot. Garrett Wilson, someone else that other fans like. And again, like, I'm good with whoever the Jets decide is their number 1 receiver on their board and they draft and what they want for their offense. Great. Like I said, I've said it before, Traylon Burks is probably the guy that I would like to see, but I have no issue with Drake London or Garrett Wilson either. I think both those guys are really good players and, project well in both the NFL and this offense that they're going to be looking to run. But it just goes to show that Joe Douglas has his head on his shoulders comparatively to what the Jets were dealing with in the past. How many times were we critical of Mike Maccagnan for what he put around Sam Darnold? For instance, in 2018, after the 2018 draft of taking Sam Darnold with pick 3, what investments on the offensive side of the ball did they make in that 2018 draft? Not really. In 2019, same thing. You had, you drafted Quinnen Williams and then Ja'Kai Polite. And hand up, I was wrong about Ja'Kai Polite because I thought he was someone who, the talent was there. His head just wasn't on his shoulders. But you still had opportunities to draft offensive players or try to improve on the offensive side of the ball. And they just didn't. And does that play a factor in the development? Probably it does. But with Zach, you can't make that same mistake. You had the blueprint of what not to do for the last, 4 years since 2018 came around. You had the blueprint of what not to do. And to me, this is the opposite of the same old Jets. The same old Jets would be if they came out and drafted Derek Stingley and Kyle Hamilton and then doubled down and then took a linebacker in the second round. And then next thing you know, your starting trio at wide receiver is Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, and you sign a depth tight end and you don't take a tight end. That's same old Jets to me. They want to push all their chips to the table or out to the table, I guess, and bet on Zach Wilson, which is the right thing to do. I think that is the smart thing to do. And this excites me. So let me know in the comments below. What's your feeling on it? Do you take it the same way that I do? Let me know. Comment below. Subscribe if you're new. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.